In today's video, we will be recovering this clicking Western Digital My Passport drive. Our client sent this in with some very important business documentation. I'm Kyle from SalvageData. Let's get into the recovery process. Our evaluation determined a damaged USB PCB by using a known good PCB. In order to gain access to the data, we have to swap the CPUs. This chip controls data flow and is encrypted. We'll also modify the PCB to read via SATA, but I'll go into more detail on that later. So we will start by removing both of the chips. I prefer to start with the donor board because the chip can just be set aside. Once both boards are prepared, we can inspect the donor board and our original CPU and determine whether or not reballing will be required. So here we can inspect the pins and make sure all the pads have a proper amount of solder and generally nothing looks out of place. In this case, everything looks pretty good. We can do the same for the CPU. On the CPU, everything looks good as well. Now that we've determined everything is looking good, we can apply some flux to the donor board and begin soldering the CPU to the donor. Once everything is hot, the CPU will kind of snap into place. It takes a little while, sometimes you have to wiggle it. Then we'll inspect it under the microscope and just verify that all the exterior ground pins that we can see here are properly shaped and all connecting to the pins on the CPU. Now that our CPU swap is complete, we can move on to our SATA adaptation. The first step in this process is we will remove these 4 capacitors. This is to enable direct access to the data lines on our CPU. Now we will prepare the non-component side of the PCB by adding solder to 4 data lines, ground, and 5-volt power line. This will allow us then to solder up our SATA adapter board. And once that's complete, we can do a quick visual inspection and install this to our drive. And we'll take a quick look in PC3000. So now that we're in PC3000, we can verify the drive is working, firmware has loaded. We can then proceed with a backup of our firmware and verify that our CPU is working and is decrypting data. Here we can look at sector 0. We can verify the last 2 bits are 55AA. That indicates that the drive is decrypting. Then we'll move on to building our heads map, and this essentially scans the drives and show which heads are reading in specific zones. Now finally, we can open up our file system, verify access to client data, and begin a file system scan. In this case, our file system scan is encountering many bad sectors, and since we know data is present, we can copy data based on our heads map. Our heads map is going to be the size of data that has been written to the drive, so all the data that is present. In the end, we were able to get a complete copy of our client's files and get a successful recovery. I hope I was able to demonstrate the complexities of something seemingly so simple as a bad board. For all your data recovery needs, please head to the link in the description. If you'd like to see more, please consider subscribing.